Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having a great day. Alright, so we are back with part 2 to What If Lelouch V Brittania still had his geass power and he had the guilty crown power. Part 2. Alright, so, but before I get into this what if, let me just make a quick announcement real quick and then I will jump into this what if. Alright, so, on the White Dragon Emperor for part 10, I had to push it back just a little bit. Not a whole lot. The reason why I had to push it back was because of work. And some family issues that I had to take care of. So, therefore, I could not get part 10 out when I said I was going to do it. So, don't worry about that, guys. It's coming out as... well, fairly as I'm going to try to get out today. And then, since this is the month October, and since Halloween's just right around the corner, I'm going to most likely be doing a lot of Halloween-themed what-ifs. Sorry, but hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that, guys. So, last part. Alright, so, let's see. Last time where we left off, I think, yeah, okay, so Lelouch used his geass to kill the soldiers who cornered him, and that's where we last left off. Okay, so, oh, excuse me. So Lelouch and Inori. Well, Inori's trying to figure out what just happened with Lelouch's eye because she noticed that it changed into like a V-shaped, almost like something went on with his right eye. No, his left eye, not his right eye. But anyway, okay, I'm trying to. Okay. All right, so this is when Lelouch says with these two powers combined, I can go up against Brittania and go against my father. But anyway, this is when a nightmare frame bursts through the wall, and of course, Valletta, who's inside the nightmare frame, she's a girl from Code Geass. Now, Lelouch has two ways of going about this. He says, I can either use this guilty crown power, or I can try to convince this Valletta girl to come out. Well, okay, got it. And then this is when he makes a comment that saying that he was he belonged to some kind of noble family. And Valletta, this is when she steps out of her nightmare frame, and this is when Lelouch says, Lelouch V Brittania commands you, give me the code for your nightmare frame, and she gives him the code to the nightmare frame. And this is when this is when Lelouch looks directly into Inori's eyes, and the guilty crown symbol activates on Lelouch's right hand, and the power activates, and he reaches into Inori's heart or chest and pulls out the sword that you see right here, and this is when he would proceed to kill Valletta by cutting her in half. Not wanting to leave any dead ends. Try not to have anybody try to expose what he just did. Now, of course, this is when he lets go of the sword, and the sword goes back into Inori's heart or chest, however you want to put it. And this is when he says, all right, Inori, follow me. This is when They climb into the nightmare frame, and Inori is sitting on Lelouch's lap, and Lelouch enters in the code for the nightmare frame. Now, this is when Lelouch hacks into the security, the communication channel on both sides, so this way he can hear. Well, he hears what's going on the enemy side, and he can hear what's going on to the terrorist side. And now he's able to communicate with the terrorists. And this is where he communicates with the terrorists, saying there's a train heading your way with the nightmare frames that the enemy has. And of course, Ogi, the leader of the terrorists, says, who is this? And he says, who I am is of no importance. If you want to get through this battle and survive, I suggest you do what I say. And Ogi's like, okay. And then Lelouch says, if all goes according to plan, then I can manipulate. I can use this group of terrorists. Well, power's power. And the more power I have, the easier it'll make things for me when I go against my father. And I take back what was lost to me all those years ago. Now, of course, he's saying this inside of his head, because he doesn't want to say it on an open channel. I mean, otherwise people will know what he's saying. And anyway, this is when Suzaku wakes up in on a hospital bed. Now, he's not in an actual hospital. He is on a medical wagon, so to speak. And this is when he meets Floyd, who gives him the nightmare frame, the Lancelot. And this is when Suzaku says, all right, I'll take the job. Now, switching from Suzaku, we are switching to the one who's heading this operation, Prince Clovis. Now, Prince Clovis, he issues an attack. Now, like I said, Lelouch in this entire series, the only one who's actually been smart enough to go up against Lelouch is his older brother, Schneisel. Other than that, he's been like the top tier with his IQ. Now, again, I don't know what his IQ is, and I'm gonna look into that after this video, but other than that, I ain't gonna look into it right now. But anyway, this is when he goes and Lelouch starts handing out orders. He says, now, Lelouch, he treats this like a game of chess. And he finds a chessboard with all these chess pieces. And he says, all right. Now, he starts giving everybody, the terrorist, these chess pieces name. He calls Colin Kozuki. Yes, I figured out her name was Colin, not... I don't know why I thought it was Karen, but it was Colin Kozuki. He says, all right, Colin. Well, he doesn't call her Colin Kozuki because he doesn't know it's Colin Kozuki. He says knight. He just says knight. The girl inside the Glasgow, yeah. The Glasgow, yeah. He says, you are knight. He says, knight 1 to knight 1 to F5. Now, of course, she does this, and she finds that the enemy is completely unaware, and she says, wait, is he predicting their movements? Now, of course, she's saying this in her head. And this is when he starts handing out all these different orders. He says pawn 5 to g7, and then he says rook 9 to f5. And then, of course, this is when this is when everybody's seeing on their screens that the royal army, the imperial army, is getting crushed at this point, because Lelouch is, like I said, Lelouch sees every fight, every battle that he engages in as nothing more than as a simple game of chess. He says it's pretty simple. All you got to know is how to play the game. But anyway, this is when he says bishop to g3, and this is when everybody just starts getting absolutely crushed. Now, this is when Suzaku enters the fray and starts taking out people left and right on Lelouch's side. Now, Lelouch is wondering, what the heck is going on? He says, so, this must be an abnormal piece. Now, because remember, he refers to everybody as pieces, meaning like pieces to a chess game. And he calls it an abnormal piece. So he says, and because this is going against the rules, he says, Lelouch says that this is not how you play the game. And he says, and this is when Suzaku finds Lelouch and tries, and Suzaku says, are you the one who's responsible for all of these killings and bombings? And he says, ugh. And then this is when Lelouch and Suzaku's ideals kind of clash. Lelouch says, I'm trying to bring a change to this land. And Suzaku says, well, then why don't you join the military and bring change from within? He says, no, if you really want to bring change, you're going to have to do it from the outside. And you're going to have to crush any hope that they've ever had of ruling over this place. Now, this is where you actually see their two ideals collide. Lelouch's ideals, even though Lelouch goes by the ends justify the means, to where Suzaku's ideals are more like, it's not worth the sacrifices to accomplish your goals. Basically, he wants to, and Lelouch calls his goals hypocritical, because they are hypocritical, that they says you don't want to kill anybody, but yet you kill for your own goals. And Lelouch, but he says that like later on down the road. But anyway, Suzaku is chasing Lelouch now, and Lelouch turns around and starts shooting at buildings, and of course some rubble falls, and there's a girl falling with a baby, and of course Suzaku stops and goes and saves that woman and child while Lelouch escapes. Now, of course, this is when Lelouch takes his golden opportunity to get close to Prince Clovis. Now, this is when he tells Inori to just stay inside. Actually, no, he circles around the base. Him and Inori get out of the nightmare frame, and Lelouch uses his geass to take control of one of the soldiers, and tells him to forget about all of this and hand Lelouch his armor, his ID, and his gun. And of course, he does this, and this is when he hypnotizes all the guards to ignore anything that's out of the ordinary. So he's able to bring Inori on board. And then he orders everybody who's inside Prince Clovis's room to get out. And then this is when he enters into the room, and he tells and he points the gun at Prince Clovis, and he says, "Order a ceasefire right now, or this bullet is going to go through your head right now." And this is when Prince Clovis orders a ceasefire on both sides, saying that you are not to treat 11s as hostiles, you are to treat them as friends. And then, of course, everybody starts shouting over the intercom, saying, "What's going on?" And he says, "If you do not follow this direct order, you will be subjected to severe punishment. Do what I say and help the 11s." And, of course, they do what they're told. Now, this is, of course, when you see like a big group of people heading back in out of the Shinjuku ghetto and head into the mainland to receive treatment or whatever. Now, of course, this is when Prince Clovis says, "So, was that good enough for you?" And this is when Lelouch says, "Yes, older brother." Well, actually, no, he doesn't say older. I think they're the same age, actually, yeah. This is when he takes off the helmet, and Prince Clovis is surprised, and he says, "Lelouch, I thought you were dead." And he says, and of course, he's trying, he says, "Yes, Lelouch Vi Brittania, the 98th heir to the throne, has returned, brother." And of course, this is when he says, "First, before I do anything to you, I need information." And he says, "What kind of information?" He says, "I want to know who killed my mother." And this is when he says, "I don't know anything about that. I would never dream of having your mother killed. I mean, yes, we had different mothers, but we're still blood." And this is when he says, "Oh, trust me, you're going to tell me everything you know." And this is when Clovis says, "I literally don't know anything." And this is when he says, "Lelouch Vi Brittania commands you. Tell me who killed my mother. Who did it?" And then this is when the geass activates and brainwashes Clovis, and he says, "I don't know, maybe Cornelia or Schneisel knows." So this is, and he says, and this is when Lelouch says, "So he really didn't know anything, huh?" And this is when the geass wears off on Clovis, and he says, "Brother, you got to tell me that." He said, "Brother, you got to believe me. I'm telling the truth." And Lelouch says, "Oh, I know that you're telling me the truth." He says, "But still, in order to get what you want in this life, in this world, you can't avoid getting your hands dirty." This is when he points the gun at Clovis in the forehead. He says, "Lelouch, I'm begging you, don't kill me, don't kill me." And then this is when he says, "Sorry, brother, but this is where we part ways. Now die." And then this is when he shoots Clovis in the head, killing him. He says, "Alrighty, Nori, follow me. Let's get out of here." Now, of course, he keeps the suit just in case. And this is when he takes Inori back to the main, not the mainland, but back into the main city. Alright, guys. I'm going to leave it off right here, guys. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe, comment down below. Are you guys glad that I'm doing a Code Geass What If? Because I haven't really seen that many What If Code Geass What Ifs. And if there is, please let me know. I'd like to go see them. But other than that, I think I'm the only YouTuber that is doing a Code Geass What If and some Attack on Titan what ifs and Tokyo Ghoul what ifs. But anyway. Oh, and by the way, guys, thank you guys for sharing all my videos and getting this channel up to 1,000 subscribers, guys. I'm I'm just overjoyed. I'm excited. Thank you guys for showing this channel so much support. I hope you guys continue to do so. Don't forget to share this video with all your friends on your social media platforms. Leave a like, subscribe, comment down below. But without further ado, guys, hope you guys stay safe. Be safe. Hope you guys have a great day. And without further ado, guys, see you guys later. And peace out, my homies.